think it's important that Americans 10 years later still remember 9/11 because it's a day that we kind of realize that this country is vulnerable to its outside peers. Everyone always assumes the United States is the strong and always defending country and no one can ever harm us, but we kind of had our eyes open that day and we realized, okay, we are just as vulnerable as other countries are, and we really shouldn't take our high stance in this world for granted.
The reason I think it's important to remember 9/11 is to remember the heroes on that day 10 years ago and to remind us of the importance of humanity. So instead of thinking about terrorism and the devastation, which I know that's all bad, but I think let's use this for something positive and remember the heroes and hopefully to make us feel more human.
It's important that it's brought the nation together around that time, and we have to remember it.
That there's a split between people who say, oh, our whole life has changed and everything's going to be different forever, and Frank Rich, who wrote just 2 days ago that, well, we're back to normal. So what I would love to do is what I suggested here, to go beyond post 9/11. Forget about these 10 years and think where we're going now. Especially since many of us think that post 9/11 was an abuse of things that happened in 9/11 rather than a healthy or productive use of it.
I think it's really great that the school is having these events for 9/11. It'll be interesting to see everyone's reaction to the play Mercy Seat because it's very controversial and it shows 9/11 in a not so heroic light.
At least we're discussing that terrorism and security are kind of seeping into our everyday lives. The national security state is kind of getting a little out of control, and that's kind of like the whole point of this event was. I don't think outside of academia that we actually talk about it. Outside of academia, it's just the good guys and the bad guys. We're the good guys, and then there are the bad guys.
It's one of the most important dates in our history, and this is the date when we had the biggest tragedy in the world. And this is something that has taught us so much, had brought so much changes in the world, and has changed our life. Every personal day, it has affected our personal life. So I think this is a very important date. We have to make sure that we remember all those people who were killed on that day. We have to remember what happened after that, and we have to remember what can we do the best to make the country better.